Hamzambo familia, welcome to the Black Fire Network Sunday Swahili classes. I hope that your Sunday is coming along just fine. And of course, I know that on Sundays, people are normally very, very much busy. Trying to catch up with the family, trying to catch up with, some of the home activities that you might perhaps want to achieve or undertake this particular afternoon. But nonetheless, I just want to welcome you to the Black Fire Network Swahili classes for the weekend. Yesterday, we started off the series. And we had a bit of a challenge, the connectivity, but I trust today that everything will just go along just smoothly. And we shall be learning a bit of Swahili right here on the Black Fire Network. In case you're wondering why we chose Swahili, Swahili is one of the most prolific languages on the East African, on the East African region. And of course, not just in East Africa, but even the wider part of Africa, even Central and Southern Africa, we have seen a growing interest amongst the different communities or amongst different societies to start learning and embracing Swahili as the African language of choice. And in some countries, we do have Swahili being the official language, such as Tanzania. Tanzania is actually the country that has the most Swahili speakers when it comes to counting or enumerating the number of Swahili speakers in any single country. And I want to share with us a little bit about the Swahili culture. The Swahili people are actually found on the East African coast, the towns on the East African coast. And such towns include Lamu, such towns include Mombasa, and such towns also include places like Malindi, Diani. We also do have Pemba, we also do have Zanzibar, among other different cities on the East African coast. And of course, I shall be sharing with us a little bit about the Swahili people. Let me show you what the Swahili people are all about and where you can actually find them.
What up, African families? Home team here, and welcome back to my series, A Closer Look. And today, we're going to be taking a closer look at one of the most popular groups of Africans in Eastern Africa, the Swahili. Link is in the description box below. The Swahili is primarily a Bantu diversity amongst the Swahili people due to its vast culture spanning from Mogadishu in the north to Mozambique in the south. The Swahili are primarily a Bantu people from these regions that created one of the most popular civilizations in Eastern Africa. The major Swahili states were Mogadishu and Brava in Somalia, Lamu, Mombasa and Malindi in Kenya, Kilwa and Mafia in Tanzania, Pemba in Zanzibar, and Sofala in Mozambique. The Swahili people are known locally as Waswahili. The term Swahili comes from the Arabic word Sahili or coastal. Swahili is the plural term. The Waswahili speak Kiswahili, and it belongs to the Bantu language family of the Niger-Congo phylum. Due to the history of the region, Kiswahili has picked up some Arabic loanwords. The main dialects of Kiswahili are Kaunguja, Kimbita, and Kaamu. Now, Waswahili history can be very confusing, and it can be difficult to understand all the pieces of their history because of the large territory in which the people and culture thrive. It can also be difficult due to the hijacking of foreigners. So, in order to make this easier to understand, we're going to be focusing our attention on the history of the Waswahili in Mombasa, Kenya. But every now and then, we'll speak on the Kilwa and Zanzibar Waswahili. I wanted to give you guys more of a foundation before I confuse you with various local histories, as a history is slightly different depending on the region. The Waswahili of Mombasa, both traditionally and at the present day, are divided into the Thanashara Taifa, or the 12 tribes. Some also identify themselves as Shirazi, claiming Persian descent. Whatever their origin, the Thanashara Taifa speak a distinct dialect of Waswahili, Kimbita, which is the dominant form of the language from Malindi in the north to Gazi in the south. It's actually a funny story how Mombasa got its name. Local Waswahili elders emphasize that Mombasa is not the real name of the city, but simply a name invented by Europeans. One account presents Mombasa as a nonsensical word, the result of a classic moment of intercultural misunderstanding. When the British first arrived at the edge of the city, they asked a passing local man, "What is the name of this place?" He then responded in his local tongue, Guryama, saying, "What are you saying?" Which to the British sounded something like Mombasa. According to Taifa accounts, the original name of the city was Mvita, which means place of war. Of
That's
all the
crazy,
origins,
Spikes.
Yeah, that was the about the Mombasa. About
That's
Mombasa.
crazy. That's crazy, Spikes. So white man asks you what's the name of the city. He gets it wrong, and now it becomes Mombasa.
That becomes that becomes the name of the place. When they are not busy, when they are not busy naming places Lake Victoria and naming places and other names of the English people, they are also taking the way of they're also taking away the names, the local names, and just putting their own names.
Yeah,
Uh,
I didn't even know that history. That's funny. Spike. I didn't know that history myself. That's hilarious. When you guys get in family, you guys need to know. I forgot I was taught this years ago when I was in Tanzania. If you don't know Kiswahili family, you are an Umzungu. You can be darker than Spikes. If you don't know Kiswahili, you are an Umzungu.
yeah. Mzungu is actually the European or the Caucasian. That's what Mzungu means. I didn't know.
I know, but I had a Tanzania guy who spoke English to me. They said, if you don't know Swahili, you're gonna get you like Mzungu. So you're gonna you're gonna get all kind of special deals.
You might also actually have a very hard time trying to understand what is going on, even trying to test things or even conducting any business, even though it's for travel or leisure or for business purposes. It's a little bit better when you know some bit of Swahili.
You want to know some Swahili because you're gonna get special deals. That's why we had Spikes. They couldn't give Spikes any special deals, even though the dialects is different. Spikes speaks Swahili, so there weren't gonna be no special deals with Spikes. They understand his accent. They knew he wasn't from Dar es Salaam. And okay, this guy's from
Of course, it's vast from Mogadishu along the coastal of the East African region, from Mogadishu to Mozambique. We'll have different variations of how Swahili it sounds, but generally the words actually are the same. And nonetheless, let me play a little bit over this.
That's funny though. Hey, what's the name of this town? He said, yeah, he's got this. This black guy says it's Mombasa.
That's
how it actually went down.
The tradition of a queen who mothered the population, who would later be known as the 12 tribes of the Waswahili, is of great interest. Her name was Imwana Nkisi. Queen Imwana Nkisi was the founder of the Kongowea, which was the first urban civilization of Mbita. The term Kongowea or Kongowea, according to some scholars, has a close link to the Congo Empire of the Isi Congo people.
Hey, Spikes.
Yeah. Okay.
Cammy's a kiss me, right? Cammy's a kiss me, right? Kissy people, a kissy, right?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, so that's one that's
Yeah,
one of her
she
people.
is.
Okay, that's one of her people
Yeah,
right
she
there.
is. No, it's a bit different. Hers is Kisii, not it's they are different.
Oh, okay.
There is a Kisii from Western Kenya, not from the coastal region. It's different.
Oh, okay, they're from the western part. Okay.
People, they're different people.
All right. Well, they ain't different people. I don't get it. You go back.
Man,
Whether you go back, they was together. Somebody. I bet if I go through history, Spikes, if I go through history, somebody got mad at somebody.
connected more directly with the present ideals of Swahili culture. Though Arab travelers first mentioned the land of the Sawahil in the 13th century, communities living on the coast and islands of Eastern Africa did not begin identifying as Waswahili until the 19th century. Now, an ethnic group of around 1 million people, the Waswahili and their ancestors have exploited coastal ecologies, worshipped as Muslims, and spoken local dialects of Kiswahili for centuries. One of the most popular elements of Waswahili culture is no doubt its beautiful architecture. Many scholars previously thought that the beautiful Waswahili architecture was of Arab or Persian origin, but due to relatively recent archaeological work, the architecture from this region is a unique Waswahili development. Africans from southern Africa have had an extensive history of stone settlements, and the Waswahili continue this tradition along with their newfound religious vigor.
They're one people.
Has this to say concerning the Waswahili architecture. Despite popular thinking, Swahili architecture and towns are not Arab, both in style and in the building techniques and materials.
They don't make a difference.
Swahili Islamic architecture
anyway,
is
damn it. Always wish these guys put a caveat on that. Because when they say Arab, they think of white people. Where's the Arabs are black anyway? I wish you put a caveat. Maybe they were black Arabs, but they were still black African people. It don't make a difference. And so they don't now put the caveat on it, just the Arabs, because they've stolen the culture. So now so everybody sees the Arabs as white people. They're not the original Arabs, damn it. Shit, tired of put a caveat on it. That's why I don't like use this guy's material. I don't like this guy's material. He never distinguishes shit. Every time you use him, it makes me mad, Spikes. It upsets me, damn it. I use this guy. It upsets me.
I think he also went. I think he also tried to get people mixed up. Was it with the Mansa Musa story? There's also another story I found him also trying to
Mansa Musa
get.
And with the Hannibal and with the Carthage stories, always some. He's obviously got a white audience. Whenever they got a white audience, they got like sneakily not put a whole African spin on it. There always got to be some white people involved in the shit, right? Just like we heard Rumby say with the Great Zimbabwe, white people never they came when they invaded. Well, you dirty Negroes couldn't have done this. It had to be somebody white, so we're going to say we did it. We would never hear. So what? We're going to say we did it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So caveat. Swahili.
Yeah, they have to get a story, turn around the facts, and try convince others.
And Kiswahili doesn't come from any white Arab. The Arabs, these people assume the culture were not ancient people. Okay, the real Arabs who were black were ancient. Yes, but they interacted with their brothers. Those are their brothers. The Arabian Peninsula just right across from damn Somalia. You got that? That's a small boat ride. They went back and forth. I know you white people lied and said Africans never left. They went all over the world, but that was a small ride back and forth. And they were the same people. And as you do distances, you get different cultures. You'll start moving away, so you'll start doing things differently. Cultures means the way you do something. Okay? I beat the drums like this. You beat the drums like this. But it comes from the same damn place. Okay? Black people comes from the same origin. Go ahead, Spikes. It's gonna make sense. But Spike's gonna teach you Swahili. You gotta know Swahili unless you are an Mzungu.
Yeah, you have to have an understanding at least of perhaps even one language, and
You'll get the,
not the Arabic, not the
and you'll
Arabic,
get the special deals.
not the Arabic language. Let me finish up with this, then we shall
Right,
get into the
right,
lesson today.
Swahili and their cultural history are Arab or half Arab is based on a shallow historical understanding. Ibn Battuta visited the city of Kilwa in Tanzania and made note of the Waswahili city. Kilwa is one of the most beautiful and well constructed cities in the world. In 1845, Sultan Said had secured Omani claims to the coast, relocated to Zanzibar, and applied the name Sawahil to his new dominion in Eastern Africa. This convention of referring to the entire region as the Swahili coast was then adopted by European missionaries and explorers. Some Eastern Africans began to affiliate as Swahili for the first time during the second period of direct Omani influence after 1820, but not the coastal noblemen who held fast to town loyalties built on clan membership. These noblemen emphasized Arab descent or reinvigorated a wider identity as Washirazi, thus claiming an ancestral home in the Persian Gulf. They produced written genealogies and insisted that their Islamic pedigrees were equal to those of the Omani usurpers, without relinquishing their claims as the original settlers of the region. When recent Arab immigrants rejected the descent claims of local Washirazi, the latter attempted to increase their respectability by distancing themselves from the farmers, artisans, and fishermen who constituted most of coastal society. Though most of these commoners were themselves born on the coast, elite residents disparaged them as Washenzi. This term marked commoners as the presumed descendants of slaves taken from Southeast Africa or immigrants from nearby hinterlands. Some slaves, particularly those born at the coast, rejected the insulting stereotype in favor of the name Waswahili to indicate that they had abandoned the customs of their homelands. To secure positions in town, negotiate with patrons for wages, or otherwise increase their autonomy and agency. Some people in the hinterland also became Waswahili, not to escape the indignity of slavery, but to express their affinity with coastal society and strengthen relationships with their commercial partners. By the turn of the 20th century, most laborers in coastal towns had become Waswahili. Unfortunately, slavery played a very big role in the history of the Swahili.
That is some a little bit of the background, and people you shall find on the East African coastal areas, and not just in the East African coastal areas. Of course, people have actually spread out into different places. But nonetheless, I just want to welcome everyone to class today. Big Cheese is with us. Thank you so much for joining us. And I wanted to share one more fact before I get into the class. I want to share one more fact. Let me see if I can get this particular video. Sorry. This has to do with the people of let me get this real quick. The people of the Nile. These are really not the Swahili people, but there is something that I have to make a distinction because you talked about the Arabs, and people presume that people in Sudan speak in Arabic. Not everyone in Sudan actually speaks in Arabic. Let me just
they're the same people. When the cultures become different when they interact and move throughout the continent, Spikes. It's not like they keep saying they're different people. They're not. The people might have moved and they start doing things differently. Doesn't make them different people. That's why Africans, we keep losing with that different people shit. If a Chinese is born in California, he's not saying he's a different person than a Chinese born in goddamn Shanghai. And they do things differently, but they know they're still Chinese people. Africans will say, well, 500 years ago, these Africans were up in Kemet. They moved down to Kenya, and then they start doing things differently. Now they're different people. They call themselves the Kisimis. They're different people. They're not different people, damn it. The same people who now have different traditions, same way the Chinese in America have different traditions than the Chinese in damn China. But the same people. Go ahead, Spikes. You got that? This irks the hell out of me.
It doesn't really change. It doesn't really change the fact that we are like one the same people, whether you are in Sudan, or whether you are in another different place. And nonetheless, I want to get straight into the class, and of course, I want to start where we left off yesterday. We were trying to learn a little bit about some of the common words in Swahili. Yesterday, we also learned a little bit about the greetings, and we learned that there are three different ways of saying hello when you find someone and you want to speak to them in Swahili. And we realized also that we do have five vowels. We also do have five vowels in Swahili. And we also do have the consonants and also the special class of consonants. We talked about that yesterday. If you would love to go back the same and just get a little bit of a refresher, you can simply check it out on our YouTube and just find that particular class. Also today we shall be focusing on a little bit of things to do with perhaps continuing with the common courtesy words and how perhaps a little bit of a conversation goes like. But before then, I just want to touch on some of the common words and the phrases that we talked about yesterday. One of the things that we talked about yesterday was a family unit, and we said the names in the family unit are as follows. For mother, we simply say mama. For mother, we simply say mama. For father or dad, we simply say baba. Of course, for brother, we say ndugu or kaka. For brother, we say ndugu or kaka. And if you're talking about the sister, we simply say dada. We simply say dada. That doesn't change. We do not have two words.
Oh, the Spikes paused again. Dada for sister, kaka for brother, mama for mom, baba for dad. Waiting for Spikes to jump back up. You guys don't know, I'm going to try to do the show later on the day on Breonna Taylor. You know this new evidence came out. Thanks for the email. You guys send about the evidence. 6 o'clock in the damn morning, you guys always up. That the new body cam footage that came out on the Breonna Taylor murder clearly shows there was cover up and things are being lied. We're not even sure that the brother even shot this cop now. Evidence is starting to lean that there was another cop that shot that was never accounted for on the scene that most likely shot the other cop. Crooked as hell. And they wonder why you're in the streets burning shit up. Why are you doing what you're doing? Oh. I'm still sitting and waiting for Spikes. And it's bad over in Kenya today. Shit. Spikes on permanent purgatory, Spikes. Your thing's not coming in. Oh man, Spikes is gone. There you go. There he is. He's back.
Yeah, really hard dropped again. Sorry about that. I don't know if I almost lost that the track right there. Nonetheless, I was talking about what happens with the politeness. You know how you try to communicate in politeness, and of course some common courtesy words in Swahili. And remember, one of the simplest ways, really, after when you say hello to someone, after you say hujambo, after you say hujambo to someone, the correct response is really sijambo, and then after you tell someone sijambo, you can simply tell them asanti. And yesterday,
asanti. I'm gonna ask Spikes, how does he say this in Kiswahili?
Go on.
So I had a white supremacist on the show yesterday, Spikes. He called me a fat black Buddha. How do you say fat black Buddha in Kiswahili? He called me a fat black Buddha, Spikes. How do you say that?
Fat. You say fat and black, fat black Buddha.
Yeah, he called me a fat black Buddha.
You say fat black Buddha.
Yes, that's what the white supremacists call me.
That would be mweusi mnono, Buddha mweusi mnono. That would be Buddha mweusi mnono, Buddha mweusi mnono.
Buddha, he called me a Buddha mweusi mnono.
Yeah, that would be Buddha mweusi mnono, because mweusi mnono means black and white.
Okay, so you got Buddha mnono.
You would say Buddha mweusi mnono. You Buddha mweusi mnono. That is how you would simply say it. And now, of course, there are some words in Swahili that are recently relatively new. For example, you might not find some actual Swahili words for them.
Yeah, because of course
Buddha mweusi mnono. Buddha mweusi mnono. That would be how you would actually translate it. And I missed that particular show.
It was last night because he was
Buddha mweusi mnono. That would be how you put it. And okay. I missed that particular show yesterday. Connectivity was also not good. Also the time I think you did it
he was
in the night. And nonetheless, going on, I was saying that when someone says hujambo to you too, hujambo to you respond and says hujambo, and then you tell them asanti. Asanti simply means thank you. And of course, you can ask them habari yako. Habari yako is simply how you say how are you. Habari yako. Habari yako is simply how you would say it. You got at the white supremacy last night.
How are you, you fat black Buddha? Buddy Yako Asuano.
You probably got him upset with his religion or something like that. I was talking about how you simply say some words of courtesy in Swahili, and it's very, very simple for you to do so. You can be able to, of course, express yourself with politeness or a lot of courtesy simply when you say sijambo, asanti sana. And if you want to ask someone, what about you? If you want to ask someone what about you, you can simply say je wewe. That is habari yako. You say habari yako. You say habari yako Buddha mweusi mnono. Buddha mweusi mnono. You would actually say habari yako Buddha mweusi mnono. That is how you would put it. But nonetheless, moving on from that, you would also say, you would also tell someone karibu sana if at all it's someone who just knocked on your door and you greeted them. And once you greeted them, you can also tell them karibu. Karibu nyumbani. Karibu nyumbani is a welcome home. Karibu means welcome. But if you want to say welcome home, you simply say karibu nyumbani. Karibu nyumbani, which means welcome.
Lost Spike. Spike's internet is acting up again today. Shit was going on in the studio. Shit. How you doing, Light Bear? Jeez. You never lied. You need to lose some damn weight, though. Shit. You know, kind of fucked up food last year. So I'm waiting for Spikes again. But like I said, you guys know they discovered some new footage. His brother released through a Snapchat. And shout out to John who sent me that shit from Tampa. I don't even know how to use Snapchat. But obviously there's a brother on Snapchat in Louisville who exposed this whole Breonna Taylor situation, this whole case. And he's been shut off of Facebook and I think YouTube as well. So he took all the footage and put on Snapchat and threw it out there. And luckily they're defending the brother. They tried to pay him off to keep his mouth shut because there was body cam footage during that raid of Breonna Taylor's house. Right? There is Spike's back. Spike's is back there.
Damn, it keeps going up. I was talking about how you simply express yourself in a polite way, and of course, someone has just knocked on your door, and you just open the door, and you just say hujambo. They will respond and say sijambo, and once they respond and say sijambo, you can also ask them unaendeleaje. You can also ask them unaendeleaje. Unaendeleaje simply is how are you doing? How are you doing? Or you can also ask them. Sorry?
I said, somebody knock on your door, you know who the hell they are, you better come up with a shotgun in America. You don't say.
There's a bit of a lag. There is a bit of a lag.
I know.
I can't get to hear you clear. I don't know if the family can hear me clear. I hope they can. I hope they can. There's a bit of a lag on your end.
Hear
I
you
believe
clear.
it's the connectivity.
Yeah.
I was saying, you simply welcome someone to your home and you ask them habari yako. Habari yako is how are you doing? Or you can also ask them unaendeleaje. Unaendeleaje simply means how is it going or how are you doing? And they would simply say salama. No, I'm just talking about in the African context, not where people are, knocking on your door with guns. Oh, okay. I was saying, okay, thank you. I was saying that, of course, when you are, of course, wanting to welcome someone to your house, you simply say karibu. And once you tell them karibu, they will get into your house and then you can continue and ask them how they are doing. You can ask them habari yako.
African Indians, and I can get it on the weekend off. Yeah, I gotta lose this damn weight. Shit, I put on weight since I had the accident last year. Shit, got lazy, got comfortable. That shit was funny. He was mad about being. You got lice. Get mad at me because you got lice in your hair. Shit, I didn't make it. You a God, right? You don't believe in God? You don't believe in white Jesus? That shit was hilarious. But they interfered with the hell with that show. All my streams went down. Everything. Facebook went down. The YouTube channel went down. Instagram went down. Periscope went down. And the other YouTube channel went down. They all went down at the same time. Like, God damn, what the hell happened? I had no power outage up in here. All them streams went out. Spike's back. He back. Put myself on mute again.
I see a comment. I see a comment by Big Cheese saying that weight can be lost, but you cannot. Weight can be lost, but you cannot stop it. Weight can be lost, but you cannot stop being an animal by birth. That is exactly what you should have actually told that particular cave beast coming on, or the supremacists who came on yesterday. And nonetheless, getting back to the class, welcome, Sister Light Piera. In Swahili, I will say karibu sana. Karibu sana simply means you are much welcome to the class. And now, of course, if you're saying class in Swahili, you simply say darasa. Darasa is how you simply say Swahili. And therefore, I would tell you karibu sana kwenye darasa. Kwenye darasa is means you're much welcome to class today. And nonetheless, keeping it with our Swahili class for today, I just also want teachers. that was harsh because but the Buddhas anyhow, let me just leave that alone. I was telling us about how you welcome people into your house and of course how you have a conversation. And I was saying yesterday, if you want to say hello to an older woman, you simply do so by saying hujambo mama, or you can also say habari yako mama if it's maybe you're knocking on someone's door and whomever comes to the door is actually an elderly lady who comes to open the door. You can simply tell them habari yako mama, which is a respectful way of saying hello mom. But of course, if whomever comes to the door is an old elder man, you can actually say habari yako mzee, because mzee simply translates into a man. Especially, it's a respectful term in Swahili that you normally use to, you normally use to refer to an elderly man with, which is mzee. M-Z-E-E. M-Z-E-E. That is mzee. But for mama is also a term that refers to an woman, especially an elderly woman, but it could also be used to refer to, even any woman, maybe regardless of the size. Mama could mean mother, but it could also refer to a woman who is a little bit elderly in size. So if you say habari yako mama or hujambo mama, it can either be to a woman, she is whom you regard to as your mother. It doesn't have to be your biological mother, but it's a respectful way of just saying hello to a woman who is a little bit much older, perhaps your mom's age or something like that. And now, of course, for the mzee is also a respectful term that you use to refer to an elderly man who is perhaps your dad's age or something like that. And nonetheless, we shall continue with the class for today. And of course, I was saying yesterday that we do have also the vowels. The vowels al, am, e, o, u. The vowel a is the English letter A.
Here. Spike's gone again. Shit. Let me share some of this footage while I'm here. Then shit. Wait for him to come back. Hold on. So I'm here. Spike comes back. Read this. New body cam footage raises questions about Breonna Taylor's death investigation. Footage and documents obtained by Vice News. I'm going to read this later on tonight, but I do it right now. Depicts Louisville police officers apparently violating department policies and cast doubt on the integrity of the crime scene. Now, this is not the brothers who actually released his videos through Snapchat. This is them trying to go back and cover the scene because there was no footage that they had. So they're interested they got footage too. But it doesn't corroborate with what the brother was saying. I don't got no Snapchat account. I don't know how to use that Snapchat shit. I gotta go find it. So let's see. So it says hours of body cam footage from Louisville Metro Police Department officers and SWAT team members paint a telling picture of the immediate aftermath of the police raid in which Breonna Taylor was killed. The footage, which was obtained by Vice News and documents what was seen by officers who responded to the scene after the shooting, has not previously been made public. It shows officers appearing to break multiple department policies and corroborates parts of Taylor's boyfriend's testimony. It also raises questions about the integrity not only of the crime scene, but the ensuing investigation into what happened that night. It's a cover-up. The footage was captured by 45 different body cameras and included as part of investigative files compiled by the LMPD's Police Integrity Unit and shared with the Kentucky Attorney General's office. No footage from the raid itself has been released, and for months, LMPD has insisted that none existed, saying the officers in the unit often operate in plain clothes and were not required to wear body cameras. Vice News has previously reported that crime scene photos contradict. Oh, he's back. Okay, Spikes is back. Let Spikes get it again. Let me get out of this. Let Spikes have it back. Let me get out of Spikes is back. Let me let Spikes have it. He's back. Let me get out of this.
Let me add. I was trying to welcome our sister Lightbearer before we actually lost the connectivity. Of course, apologies once again. And of course, they lied to the Attorney General, but he should lose his job. I didn't catch that. I was talking about how you actually welcome people into your house, and of course, a little bit about the vowels. And I say that we do have the 5 vowels in Swahili, and these constitutes the letters in the English alphabet: A, E, I, O, and U. Those are the vowels in Swahili, but we simply read them as A, E, O, U. For example, in the word ugua is spelled U-G-U-A, ugua. You simply read it. You simply pronounce it as ugua because it starts with the letter U or the vowel U. But we actually say U. We actually say ugua, but it starts with the English letter U. For example, I gave the example I gave earlier of the Swahili word andika. Andika means to write. Andika simply means to write, but you would actually say andika not. For example, I think it almost sounds like in English. For example, in anticipate, it starts with the letter A, but in Swahili, I'm using the example of the word andika, which starts with the letter A. We simply call it andika. It's almost a bit similar to English right there, but nonetheless, there are so many differences between English and Swahili. We shall be learning them as we move along. We also do have the vowel E. We have the vowel E. The vowel E, for example, in the word endelea. Endelea simply means to continue. Endelea simply means to continue. But endelea starts with the letter E. The English letter E. It starts with the letter E, and therefore it's pronounced as endelea. Let me give an example of an English word that starts with the letter E. For example, educate. Educate. I think it would also start sounding something similar to that, but in Swahili we say endelea, and that particular word starts with E, the English, the letter E, and therefore you would simply say endelea as in the vowel E. A, E, O, U. The only bit of a problem, or the one with the difference right here, is the word inuka. The word inuka. Inuka starts with the letter I. The letter I is the English letter I is a Swahili vowel E. The English letter I is a Swahili vowel E. For example, you might say inuka. Inuka simply means to rise up. For example, if someone came up to the room and said inuka, inuka simply means a rise up. Inuka simply means a rise up. Or simama, someone can also tell you simama to simply mean stand up. but Inuka is rice. So for the vowel, for the English letter E, it's read in Swahili as e. It's read in Swahili as e. For example, in endelea, endelea simply means continue. But for I, the English letter I, when it comes to Swahili, it's read as E. It's read as E, or it's pronounced as E in the vowel. For example, inuka is rise up, which is a bit different because it's not really different in English. For example, the word ingest, ingest starts with the letter I as well. Ingest starts with the letter I, but I'm comparing it to the word inuka, which is in Swahili, and inuka starts with the letter I as well. And of course, the other vowel is O. The other vowel is O. The other Swahili vowel is O, but in English, that is the English letter O, the English letter O. And now, of course, for example, in the word ondoka, ondoka is a Swahili word, means leave or depart. Leave or depart. Therefore, you would say ondoka sasa. Ondoka sasa. Sasa means now. Sasa means now. Ondoka, if you told ondoka sasa, it's a phrase meaning leave now. Leave now. For example, if you had a problem with someone and you tell them leave now, that would be ondoka sasa. And now we also do have the last vowel. The last vowel in Swahili, we said we have 5 of them. And the last vowel is actually U. U. The Swahili vowel U is the English letter U. It's the English letter U. For example, you say ugua. Ugua simply means to ail from something. Maybe you're ailing from maybe any kind of an ailment. Maybe you're ailing. You would simply say ugua, ugua. But that is the English letter U. It's the English letter U. For example, you would say understand. Understand starts with the letter U in English. But if it were in Swahili you would say U. It would be like understand, but it would. I'm just trying to give some parallel, but it's ugua. When you pronounce it, when you pronounce a U in Swahili, it's u. So therefore, you say ugua, ugua. Nonetheless, those are some of the 5 vowels, and of course, like you said, we do have the list of the consonants. We do have the list of the consonants, and the consonants constitute all the words, all the letters in the English alphabet. Of course, excluding X and Q. We do not have X and Q in Swahili, just like you said. And Swahili is widely spoken by people across the continent of Africa, and I believe it has over 100 million speakers, over 100 million. Quoting, even 100 million is underquote, is quoting that, underquoting the number. But we do have a lot of speakers of Swahili on the African continent. And one of the reasons on the Black Hot Fire Network we feel that perhaps it would be important is that it's a good thing to just have a language that we can be able to communicate with, even when we are, not necessarily on the continent. You could be here or you could be anywhere. I believe even perhaps in your, maybe in your town. Maybe, for example, the people living in Maryland. There are so many Kenyans in Maryland, and some of them, I believe, even till today, do love to, speak in a bit of Swahili. And perhaps if you found some of them speaking in Swahili, you wouldn't be too much lost thinking, what are these people going on about, or what are these people saying? You might still be able to understand what they're saying. That is one of the places we do have a lot of Kenyans. I don't know where the Tanzanian community in the USA is at, but for Kenyans, I believe we do have, of course, we have Kenyans everywhere, not just in Maryland, but you might come across, people conversing in Swahili. But you have no idea what is going on. But nonetheless, you don't have to be left out of the conversation. It would be a good thing if you're just able to just learn a little bit of this Swahili right here on the Black Hot Fire Network. So you're saying something?
I was saying yes. The biggest Kenyan population in America are in Maryland, in the Maryland region. That's true. That's where the majority of Kenyans are. They're all over the country, but the majority are in Maryland. So, correct.
The connectivity is still a bit slow, but nonetheless, I do hope that the family can still hear me. And Light Biara says, you all well. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. And of course, for the interest in learning Swahili. And of course, they say that learning a new language keeps your mind sharp. Learning a new language keeps your mind engaged and keeps your mind, sharpens your mind. Yeah. And well, you just talked about the majority of them being in Maryland. I remember most of them right now are live in church because Kenyans are really really religious. You will find a lot of churches are making money from the Kenyans in Maryland, or even all these are different places where you do have churches. Kenyans are actually very very much religious, and therefore you might find the pastors and everyone else making a buck out of the Kenyans, be it in Maryland or be it in there are different places in Texas. I believe there are also some Kenyans in Dallas as well, and other different places. But nonetheless, Kenyans are religious right now as you speak. Most of them might actually be leaving church as we speak, and they have left all their money there. Nonetheless, I was explaining a little bit more about the language of the Swahili, and we have talked briefly about the culture of the people. And of course, something else that is also important to note is that we have some basic words or some very, very popular words. Yesterday, I shared with us two of the words. Yesterday, I shared with us a few of the words, and I was talking about food and water. These are basic, food and water. Let me just even talk about the basic needs, or the basic things are labeled as a basic needs. We have food, shelter. We have food, water, shelter, clothing, and an education. So for water, you simply say maji. For water, you simply say maji. For food, you simply say chakula. Chakula. Chakula is how simply you refer to food as in Swahili. Chakula is how you refer to food as in Swahili. And we also do have hewa. Hewa is air. Hewa is air. Air is also, something that we really, really need. Hewa simply means air. Hewa. For example, if you're saying about clean water or clean air, you would say hewa safi. Safi means clean. Hewa safi to mean clean air. If you're talking about clean water, you would say maji safi. Maji safi. That is how you simply put it in Swahili. And of course, if you're talking about food and you're talking about clean food, of course, food's supposed to be clean. But if you're talking about clean food, you say chakula kisafi. Chakula kisafi. And of course, we also do have makazi. Makazi simply means housing. Makazi simply means housing. And there's also a distinction because you say it. There's also nyumbani. Nyumbani means home. Nyumbani means home. And nyumba means a house. So there are those three words. There is makazi. Makazi for housing. There is nyumbani. Nyumbani for home. And nyumba for house. Nyumba for house. Everyone, of course, knows the difference between a house and a home. And of course, many people have used those particular distinctions between a house and a home. But nonetheless, we also do have education, which of course is also important, basic, and therefore that is elimu. Elimu is education, and therefore you would simply say elimu.
I'm looking on other stuff. I know he was down again. Been a rough week. Rough weekend for the internet. There you go. He's back. He's back.
And I'm back. And I hope you can hear me. It's in and out, but nonetheless, I hope that you can hear me.
Yeah, you
I
good.
was telling us about makazi. Makazi simply means housing, and of course, for clothing, for okay, for clothing, you simply say mavazi. For clothing, you simply say mavazi. Sister Lightbearer is driving, but of course, we hope that you keep safe on the roads. I was talking about, I was joking earlier about the Kenyan, the Kenyan people. You'll find them in church right now, in Maryland. That is why you'll find them. That is why you're not seeing any of them on in class today. But nonetheless, those are the five basic things, and of course, food, shelter, clothing, of course, education, and those are some of the basic things that I mentioned. I said elimu is for education, chakula is for food, maji is for water, and of course, when you're talking about hewa, you simply mean the air. When you said about clean air, you simply say hewa safi in Swahili, and those are some of the basic things. And of course, I want to mention a little bit about some of the body parts and how you refer to them in Swahili. The body parts and how you refer to them in Swahili. For the head, if you're touching on your head, you simply say kichwa, kichwa. Your head is simply kichwa. If you're talking about the eyes, you say jicho for one. If you're talking about the eyes, you say jicho for one. If you're talking about both of them, you will say macho. If you're talking about the nose, you simply go on and say pua, P-U-A, P-U-A, which is pua. And if you're talking about the mouth, it's mdomo. Mdomo is for the mouth. And you can also say kinywa for the mouth. Let me see. I had a diagram I was using. I had a very, very good diagram I was using to illustrate those particular points, the points of a body part. Let me see where that particular one went. Let me see if I can actually get it real quick. It's very, very important just to use illustration just to put it across so that you can still be able to follow. And of course, if I'm going too fast, please let me know. If also you have a question as we move along, kindly feel free to ask. You can simply ask, and we'll be happy to respond in terms of some of the items or some of the things that you have mentioned right here on in class as we go on. Let me see if I get that particular illustration. There's a very, very good illustration for the parts of the body. I'm not sure you will find it still okay. If I do not, then I still have it for the next class. No worry. Can't seem to get a hold of it. And nonetheless, I was telling us about parts of the body. And now, of course, like you said, kichwa, Kichwa, simply means the head. And for the eyes, you say jicho for the eye. For the nose, you simply say pua. For the mouth, you say mdomo. If someone says funga mdomo, that's a phrase. Funga mdomo, that's a Swahili phrase, and it means shut your mouth. That is funga mdomo. Funga mdomo. If someone says funga mdomo, that is simply shut your mouth in Swahili. And now, of course, if you say funga macho, that is simply close your eyes or shut your eyes. It's shut your eyes for funga macho, and it's shut your mouth, funga mdomo for shut your mouth, or is shut your mouth. And now,
He lost Spice again. Shit. I wait till he comes back. Let me go back and share my screen with this article I was reading. Because somebody had was letting me know what was going on. Finish reading. It says like footage was captured different body cameras and included as part of the investigation files compiled by the Louisville Police Department Public Integrity Unit and shared with the Kentucky Attorney General. No footage from the raid itself had been released, and for months, Louisville Police Department had insisted that none existed, which was a lie. But let me go to some of this footage. I'll read all this later on tonight. What you see is that you see them tampering with the evidence, going in here, tamper with evidence when he wasn't supposed to be there. Like I said, it's starting to really find out that I don't even think the brother shot the cop. I think the other cop shot him. It's all this information starting to come out. Like I said, from one individual Snapchat who's now releasing everything about Benjamin Crump being complicit. They knew all this footage existed. He's complicit with the murder of this young lady because he was trying to get a check. Oh, Spikes is back. Okay. Spikes is back. Let me get out of there. Spikes is back. Okay. Cool.
Sorry about the connectivity. Ziman says, what's up, fam? What's up to you too? We trust that you all well and everything is coming up just fine. Your weekend is great. And you say, Nashit, I'm going to have to break out of my old notes. Yes, kindly, if you can be able to still access your old notes, simply feel free to do so. If you also would like to get a copy of the notes, simply do let me know. I can email those particular notes to you. Simply do let me know. And of course, I was telling us a little bit about the parts of the body in Swahili, and it's very, very easy. The parts of the body include kichwa, like I said, it's a head. We also do have the kifu. We also do have the jito. Let me see if I can share my screen right here. Even though we seem to be having a lot of HTs on this side. So this is, let me see if I can share my screen on my end. Just to show you a little bit of what I'm talking about and the pronunciation, all the spelling of these particular words in Swahili, which are actually about the parts of the body. And these are the body parts. When you're talking about the head, like I said, the head is simply kichwa. The head is simply kichwa, and it's spelled Kichwa. The eye is jicho for one, but you're going to talk about both of them. If you're talking about both of them, it's actually macho. For the nose, it's pua. For the mouth, it's mdomo. For the ear, you simply say skio. But if it's both of them, you simply say maskio. When you come to the neck, you talk about shingo. Or when you come to the neck, you talk about shingo. But before you even get the neck, when you're talking about the hair itself, the hair is actually referred to as nywele. Nywele is the hair. And you would say nywele nyeusi to mean black hair. Nywele nyeusi to mean black hair. And of course, nyeusi simply means black. And therefore, for example, if you say black hot fire in Swahili, you would say nyeusi motomoto. That is how you would say nyeusi motomoto, because we realized we do not have a different word for hot and also another different word for fire. It's the same thing. Moto is fire, and also hot is moto. So therefore, there is a repetition, and I would actually say nyeusi motomoto because it's black hot fire. Hot does not change, and fire does not change. It uses the same word, which is moto. And getting back the parts of the body, there is chest. The chest, we simply say kifua. The chest, we simply say kifua. And I remember there was the issue of tuberculosis. Tuberculosis used to be referred to in Swahili as kifua, was it kifua kikubwa? I believe that was kifua kikubwa. And there is a thigh. The thigh is paja. And of course, before we get even to the thigh, there is a stomach. The stomach, we simply call it tumbo. Tumbo is a stomach. Tumbo is a stomach. And now, of course, we have, for example, the breast. For the breast, you simply say titi. And of course, that sounds similar to titties. You know how people simply say titties. Titties is also Swahili. It's titi as well. Titi. That is titi for one breast. But if you're talking about breast, it becomes matiti. Matiti. That is for the female breast. You simply say matiti. But if it's still one, it's just like you say it in slang. I believe you simply say titi, and therefore that is one, and it's breast. Nonetheless, we also do have other parts of the body. And this is the buttock. For the buttock, you simply say taco. For the butt, you simply say taco. For the butt, it's very, very easy. You simply say taco. And that is how I remembered on Friday when we were talking about the Atlanta strippers telling people to take their butts to the polling station. the bat is really taco. The bat is really taco. When you're talking about the parts of the body in Swahili, the bat is taco. Bombi Damfa, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us, Bombi Damfa. We are learning a little bit of Swahili. And of course, we're talking about the parts of the body. I said breast, just like you say it in slang, it's titi. And of course, for the that is a breast. For the bat, you say taco. And of course, if you're talking about people moving their butts to the polling station, you would simply say wapeleke matako. Matako is the plural form of the plural word for taco. And we also do have the heart. The heart is roho. The heart is roho. R-O-H-O. The heart is roho. And of course, even as you're speaking about roho, there is also another name. You can also say moyo. Moyo simply means heart as well. M-O-Y-O. Moyo simply means heart. We're talking about the hip, or we're talking about the waist. Your waist is kiuno. The waist is kiuno. For the leg, it's mguu. And for the knee, if you're talking about the knee, it's supposed to be the knee. This is not included on the note here. The knee is goti, G-O-T-I, like they say your goti. There is also another one we made, which is nywele, and nywele is to mean the hair. Nywele is to mean the hair. And of course, jicho, like I said earlier, jicho is simply the eye. Jicho is simply the eye. If you want to use them in an example used in a sentence, you would say mguu. Mguu means the leg. You would say mguu wake unauma, which simply means his or her leg is aching. His or her leg is aching. And of course, if someone also comes and says alipatwa na mshtuko wa roho, you would simply say he or she got a heart attack. He or she got a heart attack. He or she got a heart attack. And those are some of the words. When you're referring to the parts of the body, we simply refer to them as such. There are also words used to describe animals in Swahili on how they translate. Words used to describe animals and how do they translate in Swahili. They do translate as follows. I know, for example, you've heard about Simba or the lion. The lion, for example, used in the context of Lion King. There is Simba, and as Simba, they say Mufasa. They say Simba or Mufasa. I think they say Mufasa, but nonetheless, Simba is not known. Mufasa is not a lion. Simba is a lion. And let me share with us some of these words as they are right here on the Black Hot Fire Network Swahili class for the weekend. And these are the names of the animals once we refer to them as such. For the cat, we simply say paka, P-A-K-A, paka. That is for the cat. For the dog, if you're referring to a dog in Swahili, you simply say mbwa. For the cow, you simply say ng'ombe, who are referring to the cow. Now, of course, when you're referring to the horse, you simply say farasi for the horse. And of course, for the chicken, or the yard birds, you simply say kuku. For the duck, you simply say bata, which is B-A-T-A. For the lion, it's Simba, like you said earlier. For the elephant, it's ndovu. For the rhinoceros or the rhino, you simply say kifaru. Kifaru for the rhinoceros. And of course, right now, as you speak, rhinoceros are almost becoming extinct, which is a very, very sad thing to see that even the governments in Africa are not taking care of the wildlife heritage. To see that they're preventing the extinction of the rhinos, even as we observe. Nonetheless, we also do have the buffalo. The buffalo is interpreted as nyati in Swahili. For the cheetah, it's simply chui. For the cheetah, it's simply chui. And now, of course, we also do have some other basic items which are very, very much common. You'll find people talking about them each and every now and then. And these include some of the basic items I already mentioned earlier. I talked about, the air, talked about the food. I talked about I talked about things like fire. Fire is moto. When it comes to fruit, you say tunda. Fruit, you say tunda. But for the food, it's chakula. For the water, it's maji. For air, we simply said hewa. 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 That is how you simply say hewa. For time, you can say sa. For time, you can say sa, S-A-A for time, or you can also say wakati. You can also simply say wakati, which is how you simply say time. For example, if someone says nisangapi, that simply means what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? And therefore, you can respond and tell them nisan. For example, right now it's 10. It's 11 minutes past 10 p.m. So you would say ni saa nne dakika kumi na mbili, which is 12 minutes past 10 p.m. in Swahili. Nonetheless, there is the issue of ownership and how you refer to ownership in Swahili. For example, if you're talking about you're referring to, this is possession. You're referring to things to illustrate possession. You simply go on and start and say, for example, mine is yangu. Mine is yangu. Y-A-N-G-U. Mine is yangu. Mine is yangu. For example, I might say kalamu yangu. Kalamu yangu simply means my pen. Kalamu yangu simply means my pen. If it's yours, in Swahili, we normally say yako. Yako. If it's yours in Swahili, we normally say yako. And therefore, you'd go on and say kalamu yako. Kalamu yako. And now, for example, if it's ours, if it's ours and it's something that we own together, we say yetu. 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 If it's something that we own together, we say yetu. For example, you might say tamaduni yetu. Tamaduni yetu is our culture. We own it. We are part of it, and therefore we are it. Tamaduni yetu, which means our culture. And if it's theirs, for example, their culture, we would simply say tamaduni yao, because you're referring to them. And of course, that is how you simply say it in Swahili. For example, giving us a few more illustrations, you might actually say rafiki yangu, which is my friend. Rafiki yangu is my friend. But that is in terms of relation, it's terms of relating to two people or two things. You might also say mama yangu. Mama yangu simply means my mother, because you said mama simply means mother. And therefore you might say mama yangu to mean, your mother, which is not really possession, but it's showing relation. And therefore these also apply in the same context. If you're saying kaka yangu, that means my brother. Kaka yangu. For example, even if going back to the greetings, we said about the greetings earlier. Someone might say hujambo kaka yangu, or someone might say hujambo ndugu yangu, which means hello my brother. Hello my brother. That is how it would be. Hujambo kaka yangu, or hujambo ndugu yangu. That is hello my brother. If you're saying hello to my sister, you would simply say hujambo dada yangu, which is hello my sister. Hujambo dada yangu. And that is how you simply say hello my sister. And if you want to get a response for that, she will actually respond and say sijambo kaka, because she is responding to her brother who just said hello. So she would say sijambo kaka. Uhali gani is simply to go on further and ask, how are you doing? In what state are you in? Or how are you doing? And you might simply respond and say salama sana. One of these days, I will have someone in studio so that we can have the dialogue, because it would be much easier for us to demonstrate a dialogue between two people in Swahili, so that you can get just to understand it directly, how you respond and how you say it. That will be much easier for us getting to understand more of the language. Bombi Damfa, I hope that you all do listen. Greetings, family. Greetings to you too. Thank you so much for joining us on for the class today. And I hope that you are learning something. Please, if you do have a question, kindly feel free to do so, because we shall only learn about the places, then we shall wind up the class. We shall learn about places, and then we shall wind up the class for today. We shall be learning about places, and these places refer to common places that we talked about, we mentioned about in our day-to-day conversation. I will mention about places, and then we shall wind up the class. If you have a question so far, kindly go ahead and ask. If you have a question so far, kindly go ahead and ask. I shall mention briefly about the places, and then we shall wind up. I shall mention about the places, and then we shall wind up. If you do have a question or a comment, it doesn't have to be a question, really. You can also have a comment that you would like to, an assertion or a comment that you would like to share with us. Simply, it would be good to share with us. Feel free to do so. You are most welcome to do so. Derek Askew, thank you so much for joining us. You're saying, I think it's thumbs up, but if you have a question, kindly go ahead and ask. If you do have a question, simply go ahead and ask. We shall respond to you. We're almost running up, but I want to share with us places. If you're talking about your home, I said earlier, I mentioned this earlier. If you're talking about home, you simply say nyumbani, nyumbani. If you're talking about home, you simply say nyumbani, nyumbani. That is how you simply say it. Nyumbani, which is Nyumbani, nyumbani, nyumbani. If we're talking about the marketplace, you simply say soko. Soko is the market. If we're talking about the river, going to the river, you simply say mto, M-T-O, mto, mto. If we're talking about the shop, you simply say duka, duka. Duka, it simply means the shop. For the forest, if you were to go to the forest, you simply say msitu. For the village, you simply say kijiji. But for the city, you say jiji. For the city, it's jiji. For the workplace, you simply say kazini for the workplace, kazini for the workplace. For the hospital, you simply say hospitali, hospitali for the hospital. And of course, for if you're going on a holiday, you can say likizo. Holiday is not a place, but nonetheless, it also comes up every now and then in a conversation when you're talking about maybe where you're going or where you have been. You can simply say so. For the school, for example, right now the schools are closed still in Kenya. You simply say shule, shule, shule. There's a distinction between school and class. For the class, you normally say darasa. Darasa is for class, but for the school, it's shule. We also did make a distinction between school and because school is shule, but education itself is called elimu. Elimu is for education. Elimu is for education. And I believe those are some of the things that I wanted to highlight when it comes to places. And it's very, very easy. It's very, very easy for you to be able to understand. Asante sana mwalimu. Thank you so much, Intellectual Maroons. Thank you so much for joining us in class. And of course, just to get to interact as a family. Now these classes will be every Saturday and Sunday, right? Yeah, they will be a beautiful one. They will be 1 p.m. Eastern time, and we shall be just getting to delve a little bit into learning Swahili. I know weekends are busy for most. People are trying to catch up with the family, trying to do this and that, but nonetheless, we do hope that even if you miss one of the classes, you can still be able to find it. Of course, on even if you miss a class, you can still be able to find it on Spreaker. The classes are on Spreaker, and I also believe these videos, you can also play them back and just get to see what we were talking about or what we were learning. And therefore, even if you're not able to catch it on the live, you can still get a playback. But if it's a good thing if you're able to join us on the live, because you can ask a question, you can raise a question, and we'll be able to just respond and update you, or just get to respond to your question regarding whatever question that you might have in class. How do I say my mother has passed on or dead? Ameaga. You say mama ameaga. You say mama ameaga. Aga, AGA, it simply die. AGA, it simply die. You say aga. There are two ways you can say it. Aga, which simply means to die, or you can also say kufa. Kufa. Kufa, you can say I'm a kufa, but it's much more, what can I call it? There is euphemism. Even in Swahili, there is euphemism. People prefer to say ameaga compared to say amekufa, although it's the same thing. But you say ameaga dunia. Ameaga dunia is like she has said goodbye to this physical realm, and you say ameaga dunia. You say aga dunia. Let me see if I can just put it real quick. Aga dunia. Aga dunia is simply what you say for dying, for dying. And also kufa simply means the same. Kufa simply means kufa simply also means to die. And of course, you can also say aga dunia. Aga dunia. Aga dunia means, aga dunia means to die. Aga dunia means to die, or to beat the world goodbye. Aga dunia means to die. So therefore, if we said mama ameaga dunia, mama ameaga dunia, it would be like the mother has actually passed on or passed away, and that is how you would actually put it. And nonetheless, we are almost running up. Sister Monikil, thank you so much. It's always a delight to see you. I hope that you're doing well in California and everything is good for you and your family. Kid, we are almost done. We almost finished. I don't know if you'll be having a show today or we shall be doing. You shall be having a show tomorrow. I think we shall end our class.
I'm gonna do a show later on the night about Breonna Taylor and the information that's come out about the new cam. About the footage that the young brother has used on Snapchat because Facebook and other social media shut him down. They don't want that out there. He got all these footages of the investigation being fraudulent, and that the brother Taylor probably the boyfriend probably even shoot the cop. There's another cop on the scene, and they were rummaging through the crime scene, taking gun shells out of certain areas. So it's some real dubious shit going on. So it's some real dubious. You just live in a really corrupt system. It's a system of they're just like the white boy last night. Yes, white boy, I'm a fat Buddha. But were you upset about there's not being no white Jesus, no white God? White boy, did you explain why you got lights in your hair? You said, Africans are dirty. Africans are dirty and stupid. So what you guys done? He told you all Africans were dirty and stupid and never done nothing. They said, I like African women. Say they want to sleep with you black women, but they think you're stupid and dumb and dirty. That was the white boy said. All Africans are stupid, dirty, and never done anything. Because that's the lies they've been told. They actually believe they ruled the world forever. They believe those lies. They were lies when they wrote them, and they're lies still today. So I lightly gave him their work, and he got up out of here. So, like I said, I'm probably we'll go back and like I said, try to put as much Breonna. Go ahead. What you say, Spikes? There's a lag. What'd you say, Spikes?
I was saying they have been lying for so long till they have started to believe the lies themselves. They have been lying for so long till they have started to believe the lies themselves. Yes. That is what is happening.
Yeah. So when he left the chat room, he was, he left. I was patient when I was nice with him. Gave him a light work, a light dust out. He was all said, "Oh, you no good dirty nigga. You ain't nothing but a fat black Buddha anyway." Okay. I'm a fat black Buddha. So okay. All right.
Anyhow,
but I don't get lice. Black people don't get lice. See, all black people here is nappy and fucked up. We don't get lice. You do. Is that true or not? Okay, I'm a fat black boo. Okay, we got beyond that. Answer the question. Do you get lice? You got all, yes or no? The answer is yes. But I'm gonna go ahead, Spike.
Probably ran out before answering that. Nonetheless, I want to thank everyone that has come through and joined us for class today. It has been a delight. Remember, you can also check out this particular book. I shared the link with us. You can find it on Lulu.
You guys go grab Spike's book. You're gonna need in Tanzania, if you do not speak Kiswahili, you are an Mzungu. I forgot a guy told me that some years ago. Say you an Mzungu, Keith.
You'd rather at least even be able to say a few things in Swahili, so at least you'll still be, you'll not be so much out of a family like that. And of course, yes, Keith, I understand why you want to cut them before you burn them. So I'll work on holding back the burning of the damn asses. Okay, that's a good one. Nonetheless, Family Kid will be doing a show later on, and of course, kindly also check that out. Much peace and love. Till next time, I want to say kwaheri.
Kwaheri. I'm a fat I don't got no mask like Spike's Goopy Guest had on the other day. I don't got no Goopy. He look crazy. He look crazy as cat. I don't know why Spike says, "Hey man, you look crazy. Don't put that on. You going over to the world. You look like an idiot." I looked at it. What's going on with this?
He said he wanted to have it on it. It's one of the artwork of his music. So he wanted to.
Yeah, you want to look at that?
I want to wish everyone a happy and productive Sunday ahead, in remaining part of the day.
The craziest cat shit. But you can't stop nobody. That's their ego. That's the persona. He's an artist. So let him be. That Buddha.
Yeah, let's have to let him be.
I would have roasted him too.